I'm gonna go ahead and call to order the meeting of the Town of Swanton Selectboard.
Progress.
Thank you. It is Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. It is 6 p.m. If you would, please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda review. Start with Christina.
I am all set, thank you.
Nicole.
I'm okay, thank you.
Good. I'm good.
I'm good.
Steve's good. Brian.
Just under Highway Department, there's a letter from Rick Cummings relative to Jerry Mills Common that we will have in your packet. And also, when we get to the library, there's a couple of quotes there for repairs to the sprinkler system, which I'd like to discuss. So, but other than that, I think we're set.
Okay, so we'll get that when we get, we
Yeah.
get elevator update, so we're also gonna do sprinkler.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so meeting,
So move.
entertain a motion to approve the regular select board meeting of September 16th.
So move.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved. Public comment, this is for anything that is not on the agenda for tonight. And I think you're the public tonight, because we don't even have another one on Zoom. All right, so we're gonna go right ahead and invite the police chief up here.
Alright, those are going around. So for September, there were 113 incidents in the town. Those top 10 incident types were 32 directed patrols, 30 traffic stops, although you'll notice a discrepancy between the summary and the traffic stops. I'm not exactly sure why that is, why it pulled two different numbers, 29 versus 30. Sex offender registry checks, there were 9. There were 6 crashes, there were 6 suspicious, 5 citizen assists, 4 welfare checks, 3 agency assists, 2 fraud cases, and 2 thefts. Out of those traffic stops, all of the tickets and warnings, 10 tickets and 23 warnings were associated with traffic enforcement. There were 3 arrests representing 3 individuals, and I believe 3 charges, and there were 24.5 hours of additional service provided to the town outside of contract hours, which you will see at the back, very back of the packet. And we did have at least a couple officers who engaged in some oversight highway sharp detail enforcement outside of those contract hours, which is always very helpful. So I'm anticipating now, because we have a new part-timer who was a Vermont State trooper for years and has transferred now full-time to Department of Liquor Control, and he's working part-time with us. So he's participated in a few details. And is familiar with the area, so I think he'll be a good asset as far as the force multiplier, so to speak, in regard to traffic enforcement.
Excellent.
Chief, could I just ask one question? Are you seeing any trends in like these traffic stops? Are you stopping them for pretty much the same offenses, or are you starting to see some trends, so to say? Like you're seeing a lot of stops for 50% of the stops are related to a particular.
No, I think it's pretty all over the board. Speeding obviously is a big issue. So I would probably say, without even looking at it, that a lot of the stops are probably related to speed enforcement, and then you name it, as far as any other issue. But speeding is definitely an issue. I mean, I was up on Bushy Road multiple times, and you can sit there for an hour to an hour and a half and stop multiple vehicles easily, while, at least 12 over the speed limit. So I did previously send that data set, from the speed trailer up there on Bushy Road. That, I don't know if everybody had a chance to look at that and review it, but certainly it's an issue up there. I was a little surprised, quite frankly, after being up there, because anecdotally being up there and seeing how much speeding there was, I was surprised that some of the data associated with that, for example, the 50th percentile out of the 15,300 plus vehicles that were measured was still 44 miles per hour, which was a little surprising to me. I would have expected that to be higher, given the speeds of some of the vehicles in the area. But regardless, it's similar to a lot of the data sets that we get. You still get these extreme outliers, but with a large, the majority, I believe, of that data set was in that 50 to 60 mile per hour range. 40 to probably 60 miles per hour. If you're looking at some of those graphs.
What's the fine amount, what would it amount to? It's 40 miles an hour, if I'm correct, isn't it?
Yes.
So if you're going 60, what kind of a fine would you get?
It would be pretty steep. I don't know, because I don't have
Okay.
it's like a calculation. So we use a cheat sheet that I don't have on me right now.
Well,
But it
here-
would probably be,
Two high ones.
it'd probably be close to 200.
I was gonna say for
guess.
78 and a 40, you're showing a ticket of 572. Is that the penalty
78,
amount?
that's extreme, right? So I think that's actually an arrestable offense also, because you're over 30 miles per hour over the speed
Second one was
limit.
arrested.
67 and a 50, 165.
So the officers have been making an effort to get up there and, engage in traffic enforcement, which we need. I mean, we don't have enough of in general. It's all over the place. People are today, for example, I was coming in, I was getting off the highway and sitting at the intersection, technically in the town there, and there was plenty of gap between the car coming down 78 heading westbound, and he was flying, so there was no way I could pull out on him. And I don't know exactly how fast he was going, but I would say well in excess of 50 miles per hour and accelerating hard as he was headed into the village. So I stopped him and issued a ticket. But it's just all the time. You're seeing people just exercising really a lack of respect for everybody else.
Looking at the chart, sex offender registry seems higher than normal. Is there any particular reason for that?
I don't know, it's interesting because I don't recall us doing this previously, but I guess we perhaps have over time since I've been here. I don't know that we've been doing a lot of sex offender registry checks, but it's supposed to happen quarterly. So if people are on the registry, and in this case, Newsy sent us a packet of individuals who reside in the town to check on. So that's something that in Burlington, I can tell you, Cruzy would have BPD do registry checks, but it was usually on an overtime basis. Officers can sign up for it and then do those checks and see if the offenders were compliant. Mainly it's just checking whether or not they're living where they're saying they're living. And then you're reporting that information back to the registry. So this was the first time that I've seen that we were asked to do that ourselves. So we're willing to try to help out as long as we have the capacity, to help Newsy out and do those registry checks.
Do we have
Yeah, I
more,
don't remember that before either.
do we have more than 6 in Swanton?
Yes.
I would probably say so, but I don't.
There's
I don't know.
19 on the registry.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more than people realize, because it's just not, and you can obviously go and check, I think on the registry, it's a public list, but, it doesn't really receive a lot of public attention.
Thank you.
Got a couple for you, chief. On McQuam Shore, if we could have someone during the week, 5 to 6 at night, find a spot, south of the beach a little bit. We got someone who regularly goes through there at a pretty good pace and then really making a lot of racket.
I'm
Every morning around 7:30 and every night between 5 and 6.
This is in the nineties. This kid is moving.
You think he was that fast?
Oh,
Wow.
well, I mean, I was gonna take a picture and hell, I couldn't get my camera up, my phone up fast enough, but you can use my yard if you want a place to park. That's about where he,
Comes around the corner and
and
then,
he hammers it.
yeah, then coming in the morning, coming from the south, when he comes up over Potato Hill there, gets on it pretty good too. And I don't really like to call it out, but it's constant. It's,
Well, he's gonna hurt somebody.
it's every day
Yeah.
during the week anyway. Someone working in the village or town here somewhere. I don't chase the car down yet, but
Okay, I mean, that's a perfect example of the issue, you know.
Yeah.
It's people just a pure lack of respect for everybody else.
yeah. And that muffler or something's bad, so it's as loud as hell. And he punches it and then lets up, and then punches it and lets up, and
Yeah,
yeah, I can hear him a mile and a half, 2 miles away.
There are a lot of Airbnbs down there, and these folks, they're just out for an evening stroll,
mm-hmm,
and he just comes flying. And somebody's gonna get hurt, kind of thing,
yeah.
no question.
Then I got one that I imagine the police department has at least been asked about it, and I just don't really know the individual we got walking around masked in town.
Plenty of questions.
Black outfit, hood, you know, and apparently it's a clown face. The first time I saw it, I thought it was, you know, one of those Joker type faces or something, but I guess it's a clown face. And just was wondering if you've had plenty of questions on it.
Yeah, we've had multiple people report because it is very odd behavior.
Yes.
And the individual has been unwilling to interact with us when we have attempted to interact with that individual. So we haven't, I don't know that it's actually engaged in any sort of criminal activity that would justify us detaining them.
Right.
And forcing them to ID themselves. So we haven't had the opportunity to ID them, but certainly we've received multiple reports, although I don't know that I've really seen them personally this week at least. So I don't know what the deal is exactly there.
Yeah, they're still there,
Yeah,
and I understand they're at the hotel.
it wouldn't
That's where,
surprise
that's
me.
where they're residing.
I mean,
Or
that's-
he or she, I can't tell, because again, completely masked and just, it's just odd. Not that I'm saying anything's wrong, just it's
Yeah.
odd.
Yeah,
And then my understanding is visiting the library and interacting with kids, and I don't have firsthand knowledge of that.
I
But
see him walk in there.
what's that?
I see him walk into the library.
Yeah. So it's an odd situation in a small town. So I was curious if.
so that, I mean, it would be great if that was the case and there was any, you know, issue as far as interacting with children. I haven't heard that before. But because they're definitely very standoffish with us. But I really don't know much about that individual,
Okay.
other than the odd presentation.
Yeah. That's okay. Anybody else for the police chief?
Nope, good job.
Yeah, very good with that drug bust and
Yeah.
getting out and some of these roads and.
Yeah, so I mean, that's another example of that bust. I mean, we, unfortunately, it's an example of how we're not really equipped to deal with cases like that, because we had 8 arrests, I wanna say, on scene. We had 8 officers, and it turned into a logistical nightmare
Yeah,
as
you
far
can
as where to try to detain these people. We had to, our facility is completely inadequate, and it's not really, and all officers had to work many, many hours just to try to even get people down to corrections where they had to go. Multiple different individuals, both to Chittenden and to Northwest. So it was a logistical nightmare dealing with that, and you know, the shifts were long. I worked a 21-hour shift just to try to get through that case as completely as possible at the time. Whereas it wasn't even as thorough as I would like to do it, because I would like to actually interview every single person involved and see if they were willing to have a conversation, where I had to you know, have other officers engage in those attempts. So it's just a lot to deal with, and it was a substantial amount of drugs. It's an example of how bad the drug problem is in the community. Almost 200 grams of crack cocaine was probably the most crack cocaine I have seen, and then 127 bags of fentanyl is a substantial amount of drugs and over $5,000 in cash. So, and it speaks to the bigger issue with the system, right? Because quite frankly, because these individuals were young and from New York, they had no criminal record down there. So in speaking with the state's attorney, I mean, he doesn't feel like the courts were going to give them more than maybe 6 months if they're convicted because of their lack of criminal record, even though they're hitting the top of the statutes in quantity, trafficking levels of drugs. So it's something that really that's a bigger systems issue with the criminal justice system that needs to be addressed, so that there's some more accountability for people engaging in this sort of activity.
Are most of them in jail now, waiting for trial?
Oh no, they were out the next day.
They were.
Well, the same day, actually, technically. The same day they ended up in jail. I mean, we executed the warrant the night before, but they were lodged that early that morning, and they appeared at 1 p.m. And then the male bailed within an hour, and the female bailed, I think, at 9 p.m. that evening. These are the two individuals from out of state, from New York City. And then other individuals. I mean, the judge, interestingly, didn't find. I mean, it was the typical issue, right? So that you have people from out of state, and you have this drug activity, and they essentially take over an individual's apartment, and we're literally trying to force that individual out of their own apartment and take it over. So I charged trespassing because the individual articulated that they had told the people they want. He had initially invited them in and admitted that, but articulated that he asked them to leave and they were refusing to leave and literally forcing him out of his own apartment. So I charged them with felony unlawful trespass. Now it's interesting that the judge did not, because felony unlawful trespass applies to trespassing inside a residence versus a business, which is a misdemeanor. So the judge didn't find probable cause because of the way the statute's written. So the statute uses very specific language on the felony portion of the statute that says entering. So you're entering where he had invited them in. Now you could try to make the argument that they had since left because they were coming and going from the apartment after they were informed they were no longer welcome, and so they were entering at that point. But the judge didn't find probable cause because of the language in the statute versus the misdemeanor level of unlawful trespass statute says entering or remaining, but the felony section of the statute just says entering and doesn't include the words remaining.
Where
So
did they get their bail from?
the judges determine the bail. So
I mean,
that
where did they come from if they had to post bail?
well, they could use a bail bondsman, and that's just 10%. So because the bail was $30,000, they would have had to post $3,000.
And they had it.
Well, they didn't have it on them because we seized the money, but somebody posted it for them, and it wouldn't surprise me because I believe they're part of a much larger criminal organization, and or family members. I mean, I don't know who posted their bail, quite frankly, but to have that quantity of drugs, like you're definitely tied into a decent source of narcotics. So,
So have they left the state?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, they probably won't come back then.
Well, they may not. We'll see. I mean, certainly it'll be an issue for them if they don't appear for their next appearance. You know, a warrant would be issued for their arrest. But I know for a fact, at least, I believe one of them was back down in New York because they were posting videos through social media.
If they did it through a bail bondsman, then they're gonna get tracked, but the bail bondsman, or tank.
They may, yeah, certainly for that amount of money, they may, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, contract with a bounty hunter to try and secure them.
Yeah.
So, but again, you know, because of their criminal record and the way the system works in Vermont, you know, they're looking at a very low penalty for distributing a very large amount of narcotics in the community.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So,
Well, thanks for your department's efforts and that
Yes, sir.
stuff, and long hours like that are tough on everybody. Pass on our thanks.
yeah, it was great teamwork, right? All 8 officers that were in on that worked very hard. And we had assistance from federal authorities also as far as using the holding facility and assisting us with transports because we just simply didn't have the capacity.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Swanton Health Officer, page 5, mold inspection, 89 County Road.
Susie said it's really slowed down with complaints and whatnot. It's been very quiet. That's the only one that there was. And
Okay. We'll move right along and highway department, I asked Brian to put highway department on, cause I'm not sure, I'm probably gonna be zooming in next meeting versus in person and don't know how well that's gonna go. And my daughter is taking a job in West Virginia and I get to drive a U-Haul down with her stuff, cause she's already down there working in her new position,
That's
so.
what others do.
So some of the things the crew's been working on, that you've seen them up by the town garage, they're working on the entrance, getting ready for that pavement that we authorized. That's the only bit of paving left, the roads themselves are done. Been working on the shoulders after the paving's done, bringing stone and topsoil. They've been hauling some sand, doing just a little bit of mowing and some vehicle maintenance. Paving is complete, but I was gonna ask Kathy tonight, but I'll check with her tomorrow, is whether we've been billed for it yet or not. We're supposed to send 3 separate bills, cause the way we have to submit to get the grant reimbursement for McQuam Shore and County Road. Swanton Hill Road, that I think I mentioned before, was complete. Brooklyn Street culvert, Brian has done the
Yep.
easements, which I mentioned, 2 of the 3 landowners, we don't have the third one yet.
we only need 2 and we got 1.
Okay,
Kevin is comfortable that the other side of the street is well within our right of way, so we don't need an easement there.
for that one, but you still gotta get
But
the
we still
one.
need the other 2 and we got 1, so it's, we gotta track down
Raining.
Rainey.
Yeah.
And hopefully he's got a few minutes to run in here and sign it, so get that done this week.
All of the striping that we contracted for has been completed. The AOT on McQuam County and Woods Hill Road, that the double yellow line is complete. I haven't seen the fog line done on McQuam yet, but as far as all the roads now have the double yellow, so safe for the winter. Berry Road culvert design, we received the design and 2 permits. 1 permit has to go to the Army Corps of Engineers, 1 goes to the Vermont Department of Environmental Conservation. And then today we got the estimate, now estimated at $750,000. The max grant that we can get from the state is $200,000. So we will be applying for that grant, but I think what we need to do is have a bigger discussion of that culvert and that road. Very little use from Swanton residents, because it's a very short distance, although I guess if you own farmland on the other side of it, on the, what I'd call east side, then you'd want access to it without going all the way back around, but yeah, that's a pretty expensive one, so. I think another meeting, maybe we spend a little time talking about it, but that's the latest on that project. And then our 3/4 ton truck is in, it's at the garage. Brian and Kevin picked it up last week. And then in the package, we did receive a letter from Rick Cummins for Jerry Mill. Jerry Mill Lane, and it's up off Bushy Road. Basically requesting to take over the road. It has a copy of a letter from Peter Mazurek, dated 9 October 2023, talking about how the road was constructed. So I think this is something for us to look at and decide what our next steps are. If we got any questions from the engineering standpoint, if we got any questions, because we got the stormwater issue to work as well. So I think we set that up for next meeting. Everyone get a chance to take a look at it, because what we wrote in the takeover policy was 30 days to review, so we got time. All right, Old Town business. We're all on Gilver and the Railroad Museum update.
Well, first, the grant application has been completed and it has been submitted. And
20,000?
for the 20,000, it's actually 50% of the eligible repairs. The eligible repairs were 32,858, so we'll get 50% of that. Now, not sure when we'll be hearing about that. It'll be later this fall as to whether we've been approved. Patrick Menard had also in his quote also suggested that perhaps would be the time to do, once the repairs are done, to paint the entire building to give it some additional life, probably for about 10 years. That would be $16,500. That is not eligible for the grant. So we would be looking at, assuming we got approved for the grant, we would be looking at approximately $33,000 to get the building up to snuff on the outside. So that's just for discussion at this point, just let you know. We don't really need to make a decision. We need to see what happens to the grant, but that's what we're looking at.
Did Patrick give you a pretty detailed explanation of how he would paint, for example, caulking or sealing or?
Yeah, well, that's, well, he just basically says repairs for all issues in the exterior of the building and also the painting of all repairs. So he took the list that Laz had, and that's what he went by. And Laz would be overseeing that, and then full paint job to include one coat once repairs have been done to hold the building. So that, so it's kind of brief, but he's following Laz's report.
Does that quote include the ornamental structure?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
One thing, Earl and I took a walk around, after we went and looked at sign locations, we took a walk around the building, and there are a few things it'd take maybe 2, maybe 4 hours, but there's some caulking in that one hole right on that, near the entrance there. We saw that piece of wood that should maybe be foamed and then caulked and painted or something. There's 2 to 4 hours to button that place up, because this grant will probably come late in the season where we can't do most of the painting and that sort of stuff. So I think we really ought to take a look at getting someone down there just to spend a few hours and button some of that up.
Yeah, Laz was concerned about that one ornament, especially on the back side. That one is pretty ripe, and maybe that could be taken down
Taken
now.
down for now.
Yeah, just to make sure it doesn't cause any other damage.
Yeah.
Be good to get some prices and to do those few little things to button it up some and then get rid of that possible safety issue.
Yep. Okay.
Anything else, folks, on that? All right, then, let me go to the LVRT update. So, the LVRT parking area is what we call substantially complete. We had VHB engineer and Chris Hunt, the point of contact from the Agency of Transportation there last Thursday. We walked it. The roof, obviously, the metal is not on the roofs yet, but people can use the site. Supposedly, the metal for the pavilion will be here tomorrow, and then 2 weeks later, the metal for the kiosk and the portalette structure. So hopefully, end of October, everything will be done. There were a few things on the punch list that were identified, and waiting to hear back from the contractor when they're gonna get that done. I know they were there yesterday doing a little bit of the sidewalk sealing. But a few things we gotta look at. One is getting the portalette in there. There's one right now, but that belongs to the contractor. I imagine it's gonna stay toward the end of October. Gotta build a budget.
It's already gone
Really?
as of today.
Yeah, it must have left later today because it was there this morning. Yeah, okay, then, that's something we gotta look into. Should probably get a handicap portalette.
Yeah.
Then we gotta decide, cause they do keep some through the winter. Do we think there's gonna be enough traffic there to keep one for the winter? Or do we just, end of November to stop? But look into some prices for that. Gotta build a budget for, electric and water, cause we got lights there now and we got water, so we can take some money out of the project money to get us through this fiscal year, but then we gotta, plan for that for next year. Need a couple garbage containers there, cause people are gonna have trash right now. I haven't seen much accumulate, but at some point.
That place looks beautiful, really does.
Came out very nice. The
Yeah.
contractor did a great job. I know I explained some issues getting to this point, but they've done a very
There were
good
9
job.
cars there Sunday morning.
Oh, there were?
Yeah,
I was there one day, now there are 5 or 6 that I saw, and it's nice to see the ones that have the bike racks on the back of them and stuff, so you know.
yeah. I
people
should have
have-
looked at the plates. Debbie and I pulled in, looked at it. I should have been smart enough to look at the plates, but there were 9 cars. They're all parked where they should be. It's pretty impressive.
I've got someone that is putting cameras in for the village, giving us a price. I don't have it yet to possibly put cameras in there, cause I think we should. And then, yeah, so that's where we're at. I know we talked about a ceremony. I'm in town this coming weekend. The next 2 weekends I'm not. 2 different locations, but if we as a group wanna have one, go ahead without me and get an opening going if you want, because we're running out of weekends in the fall. But unfortunately, we can't even get
Can't get
a response from the governor. We could always see about, the head of the Agency of Transportation, Joe Flynn, whether he, would come up or not, but, I don't know what the board's thoughts are, but.
We could do a soft opening and then maybe a grand opening in the spring where we would have more folks, maybe available to use it and give us enough time to start promoting it. Could be an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would look towards the spring at this point. It'd be open, it'd be nice weather.
I think once word gets around, that's gonna be a real busy spot. It's convenient, safe, well lighted, windlass no machines move in.
Yeah, I hope it gets all kinds of use. And now the parking lot is close to full occasionally. Someone told me once, if you have a parking problem because it's too full, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Problem.
Questions that are, we've had a few people sign up to be ambassadors of the trail, which is great. Some things they noted, mowing, that's gonna be our responsibility, mowing that area?
That's ours now, yes.
Okay. We might wanna have somebody go over with a weed whacker. Apparently there's some overgrown grass behind the portalet area. They said it looks unbecoming, just so you know.
Right, yeah, and my response, if they see it isn't done, right now we're trying to establish turf.
That's what I said,
Yeah,
but I
so-
thought I'd
Yeah, if you would
ask
just
that
pass that
question.
on as you brought it up, but right now,
Won't be a problem if it snows.
That's true. That's true.
and, anything else?
Other than that, with the water bubbler, mentioned that there seemed to be a pressure issue. I don't know.
Well, the one on the left shoots beyond the bowl. Yeah, and so need to take the plate off and make a little adjustment there. Haven't get there yet.
I said it-
Get the water on right now, and then even though that thing says it's frost resistant, I'm very leaning toward and talk with the board, but about mid-November we shut it off for the winter and not have anything crack or break that's going to end up costing us. That bubbler alone, just in materials, was $9,000 between the
Yeah.
special valves and stuff.
Those frost-free things are good, except when it's freezing.
Real free, yeah.
It's actually a little air pump. When you push that, it pumps air down to the valve, which is about 5 feet in the ground. But again, if any water's stuck somewhere and it breaks, and we're gonna have a bill to fix it, so. Okay.
Yep.
And then Darcy Scott retired from the village, and he talked with me, and he's gonna keep an eye on that and report back to us. And I think he's an ambassador, but
That's
that
one,
program
yep.
officially closes at some point.
It's in April through September, but as being the liaison, it's something that we'll continue to check in throughout the winter to make sure that it's up to a standard that promotes a healthy Swanton. So.
Excellent, and he walks and stuff as
Yep.
well as bikes it, so he's said, I'll be glad to let you
Very
know.
meticulous.
Yeah,
Have it up, yeah.
So we thinking in the spring if we're gonna do anything?
Yeah.
Is everybody all right with that? Okay,
Joel, do you want to wait 2 weeks for a porta potty? You want me to call and order a handicapped one for a month?
I think we ought to get one out there. I don't wanna
For
go
a
out
while,
some-
Should,
Yeah,
I'll call tomorrow.
yeah, and again, we can,
The same day of Swanton Hill when I called and asked for one.
what's that?
The place in the islands got one up to Swanton Hill the same day when I asked for one.
Okay, good.
There.
Yeah.
Moving on to, special
CCA.
funds, that's number 14 in our packet, and I wanted to bring this up because we've had $1.2 million that we received, many years ago. And we've got a pretty significant balance, it says balance of special funds 161, that is uncommitted. You add back, there's 570,000 that was earmarked toward the rec. So now you're talking 700 something thousand dollars that right now is just out there. And Lamoille Valley Rail Trail at 20% is probably gonna be around 120,000. This shows 145, and then we set aside an extra 25, 31, it looks like. I wanted to ask Kathy about it.
Yeah, that's a
And
little
33,
confusing,
295. And then we even threw in another 20,000. So to me, there's almost 80,000 that we won't be using necessarily on the Moyle Valley Rail Trail. So now you're talking 700 to about $800,000 that right now is not really headed anywhere. And I think we need to have some discussion, not necessarily much tonight, but get people thinking about it. I'm proposing we go to the rec department and ask what the plan is. I know there's a few things I've been working and talking to them about, but I don't know if that's what the rec board wants to go ahead and do. But we should be having this discussion, because we're sitting on this kind of money, of what are we doing or not doing with it. We talked about the balance at 161 of going into like a capital fund, which kind of makes sense. But I think if we'll have some better figures on the Lamoille Valley Rail Trail soon, and we can get a better idea, but I think we should have the conversation with the rec department to come to us and give us a plan. I throw that out there.
Yeah, on the rail trail, you're saying our our total is gonna only be 120,000?
Yes, right now, it's approximately, I'm gonna say 470 for construction.
Yeah,
We spent around 70,000 for the design, 540, another 5,000 for testing. We had to do testing separately, so now we're talking maybe 550. Then we had 10,000 for our archaeological, so 560, and yeah, so we might be 570, 600,000 max. 600,000 would be 120,000.
so these other LTD grant matches were just put in there, but they're not, they should be part of the total
To
thing.
me, they should be part of the total, and what I think happened, Earl, is we had an original amount, and that's what I wanted to talk to Kathy about, and then as the design came in and we got a higher number, we committed more money, and then I remember we had a conversation, and we said, let's throw another 20,000 there just to be safe, but now that we're almost ready to close the books, we're gonna have a good number there. Within a month, we'll have a solid number of what we spent.
As a member of the Historical Society, do you think it'd be a good idea for the board to make a presence in terms of getting funding for the Roy Insurance Building? Is that something that maybe we should think about doing? I just want to get other people's opinions.
You had to bring up something controversial, didn't you?
Don't look at me for any support. One thing, I'm glad you brought this up because these funds, I'm pretty certain they're all held in a liquid account. In other words, they're
Yeah.
immediately accessible.
Right, yeah.
That gives you probably the lowest yield on your monies. And I'd be glad to work with whoever on this. When we look at some of these and we try to anticipate the disbursement, we might wanna look at putting some of this money into a CD. As long as it's protected, these are all protected now, so that we can get a better return for our taxpayers.
Right.
And I've gotta talk to Kathy about the municipal cash management program, and I was gonna talk to her tonight, but I'll come up and see her. So I think as part of this, we'll take a look at how we employ these funds.
Yeah.
Nothing risky, nothing like that, just,
Right.
but let's,
Better yield than.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
maximize the yield based on, yeah.
Yep.
Are we good with asking the rec for a plan?
for what, for the whole 600, or?
They have 569,000 that years ago, the board said earmarked, and that was for the bigger building. And we're still showing it here, it's $569,622.85, where are we? What are we doing? What do you need, or do we take it back? You know, I mean, I think
Yeah,
we should
good
have that
discussion.
discussion, it's been hanging there. I wasn't on the board when basically the project got stopped. And so it's been sitting there for almost 2 years.
Well, there's a good example of what I just brought up.
Yeah, because we could have made almost 4%
Yep, yeah,
for 2 years.
yep.
Yes, we should, right, either do it in person or in a written request from the board to, see what their plans are for the future. I know they got plans.
Yes.
Okay, cause we know we have needs. And then see if we can agree on a plan, and then even if the money that we have appropriated right isn't enough to do it right off the bat, we can start working towards grants. But we gotta agree on what we're gonna do. And I think we should make the request to the,
And over what period of time?
yes, whenever it's, whenever it can get done. Whenever the funds can be put together, and even if it's sometime in the future, we're gonna ask the voters for money, who knows,
Well, I
whatever.
guess my point is, they may have a 1, 2, or 3 year plan,
Yep,
and so, a certain chunk will be in the first year, so
yep,
let's see how it would be dispersed.
yep,
And the funds will be utilized, then we could, again, look to some higher yielding investments, and they have more money to work with.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, a good example, let's just say it was all gonna be earmarked toward a bigger building and the board agreed on it. And I'm not saying the board is or isn't, but I'm just saying, if that was the case, it's gonna take you a year to design it.
Oh, Christ, yeah.
So you got 100,000 for design, but you got 400,000 you could put, and for a higher yield, so
And we can ladder all this stuff,
right.
different maturities, so I'd be glad to help somebody with that, but.
Okay, so I think the request to the rec is to come back to us with a plan.
Yep.
And I'll be glad to go to a rec meeting if I'm available or whatever, but the select board wants to have the discussion on.
Oh, is Nick
Right,
our liaison?
someone-
Yeah, I am in the liaison, and I do think that the rec board has been having discussions as well when it comes to what the future of the building is gonna look like, and they're trying to build public support for it, for sure.
Yeah, and again, it's been going on a while
Yeah.
and we gotta get the board support.
yeah, we need to make a commitment. We need to take their input, and, hopefully we can agree with their input. And then that's the plan, and everybody works in that direction. Instead of just nothing going on.
Right.
Yeah, not to take anything from the liaison, mine would be more if they wanted some help with an estimate to do something, that sort of thing, that
Sure.
I can
Yep.
come up with stuff like that pretty easily, but.
I think we got 2 issues here, Mr. Chairman. I think the first one is, just as you suggested, we'd entertain something that we'd look at and ultimately approve or partially approve or whatever. But the other is the management of these funds. And I
Yeah.
think this is a priority at this point. We got all this money sitting there, so maybe we could, and I don't know how this works. The town clerk is responsible, I'm guessing, for the management of these monies. I don't know if there's
Town
any
treasurer?
Town,
Yeah.
yeah.
treasurer, I'm sorry, a treasurer. And by statute, I don't know if our hands are tied, if we can get involved, or if we should get involved, or we're in an
Well,
advisory role.
we do control the money,
We do control the money.
yes.
But can we make recommendations for the investing of the funds?
I don't see why we couldn't.
Okay,
That brings up another thought now on our capital reserve funds. Is there a way we can generate more income off from that, Steve, and still be liquidable than the way
yeah.
we're handling it now?
oh, yeah.
Cause I know there's money market accounts out there that you can draw 6 or 8
But
checks
also
a
don't they-
month that are paying over 4.
Well, yeah, right now, some of the accounts give you a nickel a hundred.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that's crap.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but we will look at all the alternatives. But I think the laws are pretty strict. Non-risk, no unusual investments like stocks or anything
Right,
like that. But we could look at, and again, laddering these things, but maybe we should, and I'll sit down again with anybody else, and we'll talk with Kathy and put together a program and bring it back and give you some thoughts. Now, if we put money into a CD and we have to surrender it unexpectedly, there's a small penalty.
Yeah.
But the penalty's a hell of a lot less than what we're earning. So,
And we can stagger.
yeah, exactly, oh,
You
yeah.
could, if you had 400,000, you could do 4 CDs 3 months apart. So you could pretty easily get money within, a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, you call that creating a ladder,
Yeah.
and they all fall,
That was-
they
okay,
come right
that's
back
fine.
up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we got some work to do there, but let's keep it on the agenda for,
So,
Make it something happen.
you want me to send Betsy a request to
yeah.
get their thinking caps on and schedule them to come in at a future meeting, like the next meeting or the following meeting?
Yeah, I would say give them about 30 days.
Yeah.
Could take a bit of time.
This is just a small thing, but if you do show up to a rec board meeting, we need to warn it as a select board meeting. It'd be the three of us there.
Okay. I will not just show up. If I wanted to be there,
But
I will
I
go,
just-
and if not, I'm not going to.
I'd like to say this right now, though, if we're gonna ask them for what their feelings are, we gotta listen to that. So I don't know, how proper way to handle this, because the board hasn't made a decision, and I don't wanna make a decision on it until I hear how they feel.
That's what we said.
Right.
We're giving them the opportunity to come to us.
Come in.
So whether we're at the meeting or not, doesn't really make any difference, as long as they come up with something that they were gonna wanna bring before us.
I'd like,
What I was offering to go is not as the chair of the select board, to go as one who works projects and engineering type stuff, if they got some questions, that can help them get their answers of what they wanna come to us for, but not, yeah.
yeah, I think an open meeting is to be very constructive if we have the members of the rec committee to meet with us and we could warn it or whatever, and get some good exchange.
And I bring it back to the historical society. I think we just need to give them I think we just need to do an answer, give them an answer, and kind of either we're going to help you or not,
Well,
so they can make.
Now, let's close on the rec thing and then we'll get into this.
Yeah.
Have we all done on the rec side, so we know what we're gonna do about looking for some ideas? Okay,
Because I have to, I just feel like it's important for them to come here at some point and just present what they have, and then we either gonna go with it or not.
now what are you saying, they're asking us for money,
Well, yeah, they were, of course. That was
here before,
They were here before.
and we didn't give it to them?
We didn't give it to them, but we had some motion on the floor saying that if they come here with a lot of public support, we might consider supporting them.
I don't remember that, I remember saying that if they were gonna sell bricks or something, or they were gonna come back to us and let us know how they were doing, and we might help them out a little bit, but I don't remember anything to do with public support, but I mean,
There was definitely public support.
Oh, I'm the one who brought that up, and then,
Yeah.
anyway, that got shut down pretty quick. But I think my take as a board member here is, it's been 8 months or something. Then where are they? How's their fundraising? We gave them lots of discussion about different costs that they need to incorporate and stuff, and where are they on that? And if they have a specific request from us, come to us with it. That all got left kind of, they were chasing different ways to get money, including the bricks and things, and
I think part of it was that we were waiting to see what kind of money they could generate
yeah.
on their own, and then we'd be able to kick in, you know, we could
Yeah.
consider kicking in.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just think they need to present it and then we just need to give them an answer either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's, but I mean, I drive by and I don't even see a sign there.
Yeah.
Future home of the Historical Society. Right?
Yeah,
And that, to me, that's a great thing. If you're gonna try to fundraise and everything, is you gotta promote it and stuff. And right
Yeah.
now, I see a vacant building there that I haven't
Yeah.
heard one thing since that meeting we had.
and I do agree with that. We done the coin drop and I do agree with that. There's not, Heather's in charge and there's just not a lot of, there's not the action there needs to be, for sure.
Yeah,
I've been
that's the concern we have is,
Yeah, I have the same concerns. It's just a matter of, I feel like we just need to end either way with,
One thing that
I think we just need to provide an answer.
I think kind of concerns me is that they came and talked to us about, we'd like to buy that building. Fine. Next thing you know, they bought it.
They didn't buy it, it was given to
Oh,
them.
did, well, okay. They let, yes. My point is, should they have discussed the acquisition of the building with us? I mean, we had no control, I guess, over the Historical Society, but wouldn't they have, I think the right thing to do is come back and keep us informed. I wanna make sure we don't end up with another building on our hands.
I agree.
They just
Yeah.
don't need it.
That I agree, that part I agree with.
and I think we can all be pretty comfortable that they're a separate organization, nonprofit, it's their building. And so if they come to us and present, we make a donation if we choose to, but make it clear, we're not taking over operations and maintenance of that building.
I
We
don't-
already have one historical building that's costing us.
Yeah,
And we make that all very clear, and we decide as a board whether we donate any money toward getting
Yeah,
that
I
fixed
don't
up.
wanna
or not.
become a backdoor owner of this thing.
Right,
right.
I don't think any of us do.
No, no.
The other thing too that they need, if they're gonna come before us, they need to have some kind of parking plan. And they need to talk to the people
Good point.
that are doing business there, in the village, you know, to see if some of the areas that they could use, you know, and have an agreement with the people that are affected by the parking. Because that could be a big issue.
Especially as they're redesigning the downtown.
Yeah.
And they have
Yeah.
that going forward.
No,
So they need to work on that,
You're right.
you know, and I did, have that conversation with Heather, and I don't know how far she's gone with it, but that's an important piece of it.
Yeah, this is something I'm gonna bring up to the board,
Yeah.
Historical Society board, and just kind of push them to get it going.
Yeah,
Yeah, it really needs to be done at this point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so anything else regarding special funds?
Good discussion.
Update on the Missisquoi Valley School District land swap.
Okay, finally, after I've had a discussion with Farm Credit East, they're the person that has has a mortgage on that property. The mortgage has been long paid off. Like in the old days we used to do, they handed the discharge to the customer, and the customer apparently forgets to come here and get it recorded. So that's why it's still out there. So what I've done is I've talked with the people at Farm Credit East. They don't know how to do a statutory discharge, so they've gotten Jess Bugby's office involved to prepare a discharge. So I need to find the recording information. I read it to her. I said, I got it right here. This is it.
Yeah.
And so then she let me know that Hannah LaFlamme at Jess Bugby's office was preparing a discharge, which they're gonna have
Not
to
at our
send.
expense though.
No, this is be Brian's.
Yep.
So then I confirmed that with this morning with Hannah, that she is preparing the discharge and she'll send it to them to be taken care of, and hopefully if they send it to us, I'll make sure it gets recorded. And so that's where that is. I think once that's done, I think we should be able to get this deal done. So that's the update there.
Good, sounds like we finally are making some progress. Page 16,
elevator, okay. I finally, I was a little annoyed with Alliance because they were not returning phone calls after multiple calls, and I was gone from, on vacation, they did not call. So I reached, this week, I reached and got hold of Mark Lumen, who was the salesman that we bought the heating system with. He got me results, and I got the I got the answer that you've got here from John Dugan. And apparently, what it appears the problem was, there's a base of stone under the pump. That shifted, and even the stone washed away or whatever, causing the pump to shift. That gave it some problems, and also there is a lot of gunk in the pipe. So they would recommend, as they've spelled out here, lift the pump, put stone underneath it, a new base, the old base tipped, caulk the pushing, the PVC pipe against the concrete tube. That might eventually rub the PVC pipe. Also cut the 1.5 inches out, which is full of gunk, and replace that. And so I wrote back and I said, get us a quote ASAP, and so that we can get this thing scheduled and done. So that's the latest on that. Now, so
Did
that's
they get your quote?
not yet. No, this was just yesterday. I finally got them to get
Just a
this.
question, if they're gonna replace the stone, it's not gonna be the same configuration as the stone we have now, which has failed, that caused the pump to tip?
Well, it may have to be checked on a regular basis.
I see.
To see if it gets.
And I would ask them if they, I know they need some stone down there, but if they could put a little concrete, little
Yeah.
block, you know, you can buy a Swanton lumber for $4.
Just
So that the pump won't
Right.
rock or
Okay.
something, that'd be questionable.
Now, the next thing is there's some sprinkler heads up in the attic that need to be replaced because of their age, but also the fact that when the insulation was sprayed on, they sprayed it on the sprinkler heads. So they're old, they need to be replaced anyways. And Rob Rain is submitted a bid or a quote for that of $5,350. In addition, in the front entryway, there's a loop, and he's in the technical thing here, that needs some repair in the entryway, and that's another additional $1,940. This work will involve probably having to close the library for a day, because there will be an odor of stuff that's being used. But I mean, sprinkler system's important. We legally are required to have it. And so I'm just looking for the okay to proceed with Rob on that.
Where's the money coming from?
Well, we have maintenance money. We may have to go over budget in the maintenance, but you know, I can also check to see. But see, Rob is going to be retiring and either selling the business or just going out of business. I'm not sure what these quotes may look like if we wait. And he's not doing it.
Now, we had money for the library repairs.
Yes, yeah, for the insulation and whatnot. So
120,000, expended 92,
Yeah.
520.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so we got
So-
it there.
I think you raise a good point, because the next owner of that company may not be obligated to honor.
Right.
That's right.
So-
If
Right.
there is a next.
Yeah.
So we might have to,
Yeah.
but even if we sign it now, will they complete it before they sell the company?
I'm gonna ask and make sure it's done.
Wasn't there some rebate money coming in?
From Vermont Gas.
From Vermont Gas.
And I gotta check with Kathy, see if we received that.
I recommend we expend the repair fund, and if we need to, we dip
Yeah.
into the balance in the
Okay.
special funds.
In fact, I'll
and get
make
that
a-
fixed,
I'll
'cause
make a
it is
motion.
it is sprinkler, and the sooner we get it done,
Yeah.
the better.
I'll make a motion that we accept Rob's proposal to fix the sprinklers and has of tonight, we'll use the existing money that's left over from the insulation
Right, okay.
project.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll second.
For discussion, because we're getting closer to the end of the fiscal year, do we wanna still draw down the balance in repair funds or not? I mean,
Check
we're
with
not
Kathy, I
till-
think you're already over that.
Yeah, we might.
I think we are.
Okay, I mean, it's, yeah,
But it doesn't make any difference right now, just so that we know
we're gonna get it
we're
done.
gonna get it done.
Yeah.
Okay, motion been made and second, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved.
Just to be clear, you're accepting it for the sprinkler, for both of them, the
Yeah.
53,
Well,
5350 and the 1940.
yep,
And you're gonna use it out of the existing special funds for library.
as of now,
What's
yes, as of now.
Okay,
And what about the pump now? You may get something before we get back to another meeting, right? Because that shouldn't drag on too much longer either.
do you wanna take?
Now, the only thing I didn't see in here was some kind of safety system, so we know that the pump is working. Cause there's two pumps in there, right? They have a backup pump.
A backup pump plus the primary pump.
Okay, so is there some kind of system they can put on there
Like
so
that,
that we
yeah.
can know that the
Well-
primary pump, if it fails, we know?
Yeah, there is an alarm system in there, I'm not sure when it triggers, but see, the thing is, nothing triggered when it happened, so.
Yeah,
There was a problem, then when it triggered, we couldn't shut it off, but, that's another issue.
yeah, but
Well, can they put a shut off outside of?
Yeah, well, I can.
Of the shaft?
We can talk to them about that, yeah.
but that's only because that alarm system only lets you know that the water's building up.
Right,
But before that primary pump, when that primary pump quit and then the backup
the
started.
alarm should've went off.
It should've went off.
Should've.
Or something should have notified us that that primary pump
Right.
was not functioning.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think one thing that was discussed, somebody mentioned at that meeting, having two floats. One that kicks off when the first pump quits, and then the other one kicks off when it gets higher.
Well, I'm sure there's some way they can do it,
oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that needs to be part of part of the repair project. So we don't get in that same situation again where we get water building up because both pumps have been burnt out.
okay.
Alright, former town garage property update.
Well, let's see.
This is basically the, state, trying to get the state's approval of the work that Atlas did.
And of course, she's on vacation, but anyways, I did hear from, the engineer at, Atlas, and he said that she needs more time to review the 356-page report. So it's on the list to be done, but she needs more time. So whatever that means. She comes back from vacation the end of this week, so I'll send her an email.
I would ask that you call her.
Or call her.
I would start calling her weekly, until we get
Well,
something
I actually
back.
called her and that's when I got the voicemail
Right.
message, she was out, so she should be back.
She'll be glad to hear from you.
Yeah,
One thing I'm gonna do, cause there was discussion about 18 inches of material, might be one way to cover that up and get it usable again. Driving by, there's some elevation different, so that may not be quite as bad as we think. So I'm gonna go out there with a level and someone holding the stick, and we'll get some measurements so we can be at least thinking about that when it comes time to decide what we wanna do for permanent fixes there. Moving on to Newtown business, letter of support for Green Mountain Welding.
while I was on vacation, this request for a letter of support came from, the Franklin County Industrial Development folks, requesting apparently the, Green Mountain Welding is looking to buy a piece of equipment. It's a used Bentech Dragon machine, and so they're looking for a grant of some $39,500. And they're looking for a letter of support from that, from the town, and they also requested one from Green, Northwest Regional Planning. And I have not spoken, did anybody call, when I was gone about this?
No,
Or
he
we
just
got
sent the email.
Just the
letter.
email,
He sent the draft letter.
yeah.
Have we had conversations with, FCIDC at all?
Not on this, no.
Yeah, today I think we might have a conversation with them.
The
and then if
request
they're-
came from them.
That was from them?
That was
Okay, it
from
wasn't,
them.
okay,
Yeah,
when you
it was
said,
Paul Remillard.
He sent the email request on their behalf.
okay.
So, are they asking us to donate $15,000?
No,
no.
They're
no,
applying
no.
for a
They're
grant,
applying
and they're
for a
asking for
grant.
a letter of support showing.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, I see a lot of pickups parked there, so I've got to think they have quite a few employees
Well,
out
there's
there.
23.
Oh, it's in there, I didn't read all
Yeah,
that.
they do quite a bit of business and hopefully they'll be expanding in the future, so we should support them because if their expansion should happen in Swan, I'd like to see that happen.
I like their Christmas lights that they do during the winter. It's always nice to drive by it.
And they do good work.
I think we should support it, I mean, unless there's something,
So I'll move that we send a letter of support for their project.
Brian be allowed to sign
Yeah.
And allow Brian to sign it, or, well, I suppose it might be more effective if the whole select board signed it, just to let them know, and we could come in and do it on our own during the day, if you get the letter together. If you wanna do it that way, I just think it would carry more weight.
Yeah.
I can probably do that letter for you before you leave.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Okay.
they sent
Just
a
change
draft.
the phone number
Correct.
and the address, take that 7 off. The rest of it look fine?
it. Nicole, you second it.
Yes.
Motion been made and second to, provide a letter of support. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Appointment of deputy zoning administrator.
This probably should have been done before now, but in any case, I am the deputy zoning administrator, in which I had to do that function for 6 months, when Amy was out. And then the goal was, when Amy came back, was that I'd kind of shift out of that and, that Christina would take over as the deputy zoning administrator. So what I'm looking for here is an appointment to make Christina a deputy zoning administrator, but not to remove me as a deputy zoning administrator, for the sole fact that this entire building, and I'm sorry to say it, operates in silos. And it is not acceptable to tell somebody that they have to wait for 2 weeks until somebody comes back from vacation or whatever. So
Right.
I grew up, as you know, Steve can vouch for this, I had everybody trained to do another job or two, or at least 2 people, so that there was somebody to pick it up. So that's just the request. Why we just, for now anyways, just have just the appointment of Christina as the deputy zoning administrator.
now, can you, like, in the absence, of say Amy was out on vacation, then
Yeah.
you guys would kick right in, step
Yeah.
right in. But when it starts to become a norm, that you're spending more
Well, no,
time than
no,
you
that-
think, just let us know.
No, well, if Amy is here, there shouldn't be any problem.
Yep.
See, but if, you know, yeah, because the zoning hours are still what they were Tuesdays and Thursdays, or Tuesdays.
Monday,
Tuesday, and Thursday. But primarily, Amy is still working just in the mornings, which is fine, but it's just the other day, somebody came in and needed a permit. There was no, they were building a storage barn of some sort, and he's got, you know, 1,000 feet of he had plenty of room, literally, to put that without any permit. So I signed the permit. We did it, and I signed it because, you know, but.
So you're deputy administrator now,
I'm
deputy,
deputy administrator.
Well, I
so we
do
have
it
a
all and he
second.
signs it because like legally I can't.
Right. So we just have to.
Wanna, someone make that a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Christina Candles as a co-deputy zoning administrator for the town of Swanton.
Fair second.
I'll second.
Motion made in second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Sheriff's not here.
Right, but I can tell you what the discussion was on the phone if you'd like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, I did speak with him, I thought he'd be here, but they are willing to do certainly a speed enforcement. Their fee is $95 plus per hour, I mean 95, it's between 95 and 96 an hour. Primarily, and this would be of course subject to negotiation and discussion, they primarily are looking for a year contract. But he would work and we could have any number of hours per week that, we would find it is feasible, but they would have to, if they're, they have to pair it up so they'd have an even shift. So if they hired somebody, making, doing 40 hours a week, well, if we do 10 hours a week, they have to kind of piece it in. So that's what the fee would be, and that's just up front.
Is he looking for a minimum amount of hours or?
Well, there would be probably a minimum amount, but he's looking for a minimum 1 year contract. But he's willing to do a trial basis. So I don't know.
Before we get to that, I'm glad that you spoke with him. But we need to be quite definitive in what we expect them to do. Now, if we say to them, we want you to stop speeders, well, that's good. But do we want them to come down hard on the speeders? Do we want them to give the same grace miles, if that's what you call it, to people that are speeding? And do they make money off the fines?
Well, I don't know about the fines, and that's what we have to still have to figure that out. But the sheriff himself gets 5% of any contract that's signed.
Okay. Well, I guess my couple of thoughts. First of all, we don't want our current village police to think that we're not happy with the services, because that's not why we're doing this. And we don't want to show even the slightest concerns over their performance. So I think that's a very sensitive issue that we can't lose sight of. The other thing, these folks that we hire are gonna do their job. And they'll probably start picking up more speeders because they're here more.
Your money too.
And it can take some of the burden off our own police force. But how are we gonna respond to the public saying, geez, I just got picked up, my grandmother got picked up, all this.
Well, they're speeding, Steve.
Well, I know that,
Okay.
though. But right now, I think our police department exercises some pretty good judgment when it comes to issuing fines and whatever. So we wanna think this, I think we need it, but we wanna really think this through carefully. And make sure Mr. Grismore, or Sheriff Grismore, understands what we expect.
Well, I agree with you as far as, we should have a conversation with the village first about, these issues, cause there's been plenty of people that are complaining, especially Bushy Road, we know that's a bad one. Up through there on 207 too. They don't have the help right now, the officers, to really give us a lot of extra time, even though they put 24 hours extra in last month. But, do we wanna try to get it out there? Is that a way of slowing people down? It might for a while if enough people get tickets and the word gets out.
I think we as a select board have gotta decide if we think we've got a traffic control problem, which I think we all agree we
Yeah.
do, and then are we gonna try to do anything? Just quick math, 4 hours a week, 52 weeks a year, 208 hours, $20,800 for just 4 hours. Would that amount to anything? But I think we need to have the discussion with the sheriff of, can he even do just 4 hours? Cause he's gotta
Yeah.
balance it against
That's what-
what he's got for manpower, if he
Yeah.
can just do 4 hours, but That just gives you some idea of the cost, and again, yeah, we'd have to lay it out there, and I'm on is if you're speeding and it's X number over the posted, write
get
the
a
ticket, and when people start hearing there's tickets, people might slow down, and especially on these commuter roads. You know what we see on McQuam?
Yeah.
'Cause that's a commuter that's coming in, and then, up on Bushy Road,
Yeah.
anyway, it's,
I agree, we've gotta keep our community safe. We do an excellent job with the village police. This is just another extension of our responsibilities. Do we get to keep any of the fees that they charge?
I thought we did.
Yes,
As far as the tickets?
The tickets.
Yeah, we get money
It's
back on the
very-
tickets, I
believe It's
understand.
not as much as it used to be. The state takes a big chunk. I'm gonna try to find a definitive. what
That
it
will
is.
offset the expenses you just.
That
talked
might
about.
help, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll try to get the definitive number, percentage of what it is that we get from.
Yeah,
I think we need to get him in here and have the discussion, and so we can then
yeah, we need to,
take it further.
If I could add a few things, first of all, from 1993 until 2008, I was the police commissioner for the village of Swanton. And I'll tell you, just for the village, 1.5 square miles, you'll never stop people complaining.
Oh, that's my point, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
raise.
we're never gonna, I mean, yeah, well, there's definitely a speed problem, definitely on those roads
Yeah.
that we've mentioned, I would be
Yeah.
the first to agree with that. But I mean, there'll always be, well, they weren't on my street and this guy went, but, you know, that type of thing. And, I assume that would be one deputy, and, you know, they're not gonna be, they'll be out there, but they can't cover the whole town, and wherever they are, they'll, and somebody being somewhat savvy with the scanner in the car can tell where they are. That's, you know.
That's true, but again, the commuter
Oh, the community.
is not gonna sit there and try to figure out where the sheriff is so they can go, somewhere else, so.
well, I mean, the idea was that when we had when we needed extra in areas that were having a problem, we could be able to hire
Right.
somebody to come in and, do something. I know people are always gonna complain, but, usually they're the same people too, so, I don't get too excited about that. But we do need to have that discussion. I'd like to, the chair to find, but I think we should talk with the village too about what we're considering. That's a good point, Steve, very good point.
I asked Brian to make sure the village was aware.
And they were
Aware that we were even having this conversation tonight, possibly
Yeah.
with with Mr. Grismore, cause did not want them to be watching this, next couple of days and not be aware of it, so they were aware, and again, it's just what you say, it's not because we're unhappy or it's because it's a manpower issue right
Yeah.
now, and we're trying to do what we think is right, and before we do anything else, we'll have further discussions with them too, but we need to have that initial conversation.
Yeah, and I
See, it may not
finding
work.
out what the fine income could be, just to help, because, there will be additional costs if we do it, just to see if we can, I don't think it'll cover the cost, I doubt it.
No, I doubt it.
Yep,
Go ahead, Nick.
just one quick question. Is Franklin County Sheriff the only local police department we could possibly contract with? I know in the past, like, Highgate has used St. Albans City.
St. Albans City,
No.
and their contract with the town of St. Albans, they are exclusively St. Albans City and Town,
Yeah.
period.
Period.
Yeah.
Okay. So Franklin County Sheriff's the only option.
Yeah, as far as I know, there would be, there's nobody else that's in the police business.
One thing, I'm sure we all hear it towards the end of the month, they say, well, it must be the police are out there filling up their quotas, and we know that's not true. But that's the culture that's out
It's
there.
been out there for decades.
Yeah, oh, I see them out there, they must have, they have 10 short or whatever. So we wanna make sure that they don't point their finger at the sheriff or his deputy for doing his job, say, oh, that's gonna be worse at the end of the month, cause they gotta fill the coffers, so. And I think the sheriff is probably sensitive to that.
Land-wise, Swanton's a big town. It's hard for the police to be everywhere.
That's right.
And more people on the beat is a good thing, I think.
Will they also look at people that are on their cell phones? I mean, that's.
Well, if it's traffic enforcement.
Yeah, that's-
And that
Yeah.
is serious in this
Traffic.
village.
Inspections, registrations, cell phones, seat belts, speeding. I mean, what we would be hiring them for, I think, this is just my opinion, is traffic enforcement. We want them to go out and do what traffic police do.
The cell phone thing is rampant, it is absolutely rampant. Stand up by Dunkin's and you're ready to go across, and you can count them. The other morning is 4. And it's a minute for that light to switch from red to green, green to red.
They're text.
4, they're texting right on it. So I went like this to one of them. You might have an idea of what they told me, okay? And it's every street.
Yeah.
No, it's tough, no question.
All right, so you're gonna have a conversation and
Yeah.
see what
Yeah.
happened and whether he's
Yeah.
interested in coming back and talking to us. He may be out on a case in Zelda right now, who knows?
I had one other thing in a new business I should have mentioned. You notice under executive session, I was going to, but I'm gonna move that into this open session. This is a quick question, put to me by somebody who's interested in purchasing the property that's for sale behind Hannaford's. That as you go up Missisquoi Street, go past Hannaford's, it's gated, but we own that whole road all the way to the Highgate town line.
Swanton does,
Yeah,
Swanton Town, you're talking.
right. So there's an individual who is thinking about, and he's in the negotiation for buying that property, to do a development back there. And he would like to know before he gets too involved, and granted, he's gonna have it all engineered and whatnot, if the town would allow him to access his development by the use of that road. So you go up the road and then he'd have a drive-in way into the development that way.
You're talking about by Dunkin' Donuts?
Yeah,
It's gonna be a
The
nightmare,
old
traffic
rail-
nightmare.
The old railroad bed there.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, the town, doesn't the or the state still own that?
No, we own that.
Oh, so the state's got not like Robin Hood Drive?
No, we own that.
Yeah, it must be, because they don't see any future of running a
There was
railroad
never
up that way,
railway.
but the other one, you're right, they
Are
could
there
take.
gas lines under that road?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
But there probably will be if this goes through, because
Yeah.
the BUD.
How much land is usable up there though?
Well, that's
pretty
what his
wet.
engineer is trying to figure out. They're gonna try to figure out how much is usable.
Wasn't that one of the sites on the presentation we had last month?
Yeah,
What would be the other option for access?
I don't think he has really another
You'd
option.
have to fucking buy some property somewhere on Brown Avenue or something to get in there,
You
maybe.
still have to cross.
Still have to cross, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's an ideal area to develop, you got municipal services there, why wouldn't we, as long as there's no cost to the town, I don't have a problem with it.
We just say we encourage you to pursue what you're doing without any commitment.
Right, yeah, no
Wow.
commitment, we need to
Yeah.
see your
Right.
engineers and all, and the traffic on that corner is definitely, may have to, but usually the developers have to put up the
That would
bill.
That'd be part of the requirement, is to
Sure.
take a look at the traffic
Sure.
increase and what needs to be done to accommodate it.
For those that weren't on the board, I was on the village board when all that was going on, and the town owned it to the Highgate town line.
Yep.
And we had approached the town of Highgate, or the select board approached the town of Highgate about going the rest of the way. So that way, somebody coming off of Monument Road could get on there and just sail
Sure.
on up through. Oh, no, they didn't wanna be, they weren't interested in that. So that's why Linda Avenue is a class 2 road, because they're all using my street, that's just fine, I have a nice little paved road, with nice bright yellow lines on it, wakes me up when I see that in the morning. But,
Nice and clean up there.
yeah, but that, it's, would have made sense to go all the way,
Of course.
but nonetheless, that was years ago.
I certainly support it,
Sure.
concept.
Right, the concept,
sure.
and because it's all subject, and he understands it's all subject to engineering and everything.
Okay,
More power to them.
update on Promote Swanton.
Yes, you will.
Okay,
You got
did you
some stuff.
print out any of,
It's in your packet.
okay, alright,
The last pages.
alright, we're going into, and
Off the press.
I didn't understand all this, but boy, I tell you, I learned a lot about websites here in the last couple months.
I'm not here, I'll see you.
If we're gonna bring in our branding, which is the new signs, that are gonna be put up, you know, in our brand down there, that's not part of the work that they're gonna do, that was,
Just done.
that we had contracted for before. And so if you, I don't know if you can't even put up on that, up there, what we got the last week.
I sent it to everybody in their email.
Okay, so you all seen what they were proposing, but that doesn't take in the branding. And the branding, of course, would change it considerably, if you read your thing in your packet. You know, color wise and stuff like that. I feel very important that we continue with this, because our website and how we use our website, we've gotta get better at it. I had some of that discussion with Christina the other day, about, you know,
Oh,
how,
came in yelling at me again.
I didn't yell at you either,
Might wanna date this.
I should've.
Oh, do you want, is there no date on
No,
it?
I see October 7th. Oh, no.
No, I'm looking at this.
Oh, never mind.
You just sent
Let me print it again with the date.
What,
Just handwrite it up.
what, logo are we talking about changing?
We're talking about the one we're using on our signs.
The town, no, but the logo that's there now, is that the town of Swanton?
Well, yes, but they'll still be on each side, the town and the village, you know, will be still part of it, as we've been
So when
talking about,
when you
yeah.
open up your website like this, that right now we just have the circle with the Vermont or a star.
Oh, okay, not,
We're talking about putting the logo that was created for the welcome signs there, again, to create that consistency throughout the town. We're welcoming people with a welcome sign. Now we'd like to welcome them to our website, showing that inclusive Swanton logo. And then within that package that the developer put together when we were getting the logo done, they had made some recommendations for brand consistency, to continue to make everything marketable using colors and those patterns. So this would be from, I wasn't here, so I'm not 100%
Yeah.
sure, so stop me if I'm wrong. This would be taking that website and giving it that one Swanton feel. Of course, we would still have our own individual logos, but we
Yeah.
would make a more cohesive color pattern. We would put that swan logo that's gonna be on our welcome signs into that.
so the village should be involved with this, right?
Well, I suppose they should be aware of it, yes.
Cause we're changing the colors on their
Yes,
stuff.
we're changing that, you know, but it's, we're trying to bring it in the 21st century. And make it a little more exciting, so that, you know, people will be wanting to go see. Now, it's a big improvement what he done, I mean, if you scroll down, you get the Swanton there with the activities business. The business listing part, that's all gonna stay the same, you know, that'll still be there, all that stuff is gonna be there. The pictures we may change, you know, because we had that, I haven't had the discussion with Nicole, cause she's been gone, or Susie, but, you know, some of those pictures I think we should change, like they got the one with Roy's Insurance Agency on there, and, you know, that's not even, a going business at this point in time, so, you know, like that, and even maybe the opening picture might be a combination. Cause you guys see, they got some of the drone pictures too, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
we got
yeah.
the,
So we got a lot of really good pictures, of that, you know, and we're gonna supposedly, tomorrow at 10 o'clock,
You have a Zoom with.
we have a Zoom with EcoPixel. And, you know, we're gonna start discussing these things with them, but if we're gonna go forward, then the board is gonna have to approve this additional expense. And it was like 35 or 3,900, I don't have it right in front.
$33.75.
33.75.
And you know, I mean, I think this is something that we can talk to the village when we all meet, if that's
Yeah.
what the board wants to do. But
Yeah.
it's something, you know, that we've made progress on that we'd like to just continue to keep you guys aware of.
yeah, I think we should have the village involved if we're gonna make color changes and font changes and, I mean, I think it's all for the good, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I just, that whole site was a joint thing that started, and, they're meeting next Monday night, so I mean.
But they're coming to the next
They're
meeting,
coming to
right?
our next
Right.
meeting.
21st here.
Right, but I'm just saying, if, depending on the time frame of when you folks are trying to get back to EcoPixel, which probably be want to for even your call possibly, but I think think we should do, at least let the village.
Well, then we can hold off on, having them go forward anything else at the present time. Until we, everybody's gonna be agreeable to it.
And that could be either next Monday or when we meet again, that's up to you
Yeah,
folks,
they're
which
not
one fits.
meeting next Monday.
Oh, they're not?
They have the holiday on Monday.
They-
They'll be
We don't
on
get
Tuesday.
Okay, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah,
Those
so,
folks, yeah.
And, then maybe we should just cancel the meeting tomorrow and tell them we'll set it probably the following
Following
week.
for the
Yep,
Wednesday, so 22nd?
yep,
Okay, I'll send them an
tentatively,
email.
yep.
Okay.
Because if they want to go live with what you guys saw, but I didn't think it was the right thing to do. Because if we're gonna go with the branding, then it's gonna change. Now, if we decide we're not gonna go with the branding, then, we can, decide what kind of pictures we wanna put in there and just go with what they presented us.
I think the Brandon's kind of part of the whole big picture.
Well, I think it
We're all
is
trying
too,
to
I
do
mean,
and
right,
the signs
right.
and,
Right, I agree,
Yeah.
I mean, without doing it, I don't think it's gonna be that effective.
If we get a new logo, we should use it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wanna bring up, once we get this going, I think we should do one of those postcard mailings to our residents, letting them then know that the site has been updated, take a look at it, and sign up for, information. I mean, it's gonna cost us a little bit of money to get them postcards out there, but, we all sit here after town meetings saying, wow, we wish we had more people come. But we haven't been doing anything different, so unless we try something different, we're gonna get the same results.
I don't have any problem with it.
Once we get it up and running and, if everybody gets agreeable here within the next week or so, I think by, mid-November, I'm sure we could have this.
Do you want me to reach out to that company that sent the postcards the last time?
Yes.
Could we put another message on it? I mean, we're gonna send a
Why not?
postcard out. I think your idea is a good one, but is there something else that we can think of that we might wanna put on the same postcard? That gives us double buck return.
Oh, like some design things, we could design.
Something for us all to think about. We're gonna have a little bit of time, but that's a
Yeah,
great
we got
idea.
time.
Why not?
Yeah,
Yeah, it might be more like a little news, yeah, I agree.
I'm a big advocate of mailing people stuff because I think it sticks out more.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's just like an online posting.
Yeah.
It doesn't stick out at all.
Yeah.
Well,
No, it
there's
doesn't. It
Still a fair deal of folks that don't use the internet.
That too.
Oh, sorry.
Only if I really need to do something,
Yeah.
Now, if people see this new website and it comes out the way I'm sure it will, because I've seen other town websites that are, really, are attractive. People, I think, will start using that website more, especially when they see where it's easy to come to the activities and what's going on just by clicking on those little things.
And then when they sign up for the newsletter, they'll
Yes.
start getting more news from us, and I think that will make them feel more included and build more trust within the community.
That can be part of that postcard,
Yeah.
right, the
Yeah.
newsletter sign up
Yep.
piece, yeah,
And
that's good
that-
stuff.
If they sign up for the notices, they're gonna, say we got, I always use this example of Swanton Block Party. That would be something that would be
it was
Sent out.
qualified for.
Because there was a couple people last year after the Swanton Block. I thought it was the following week. It's like we're not really promoting or advertising as much as we should. To get people involved. And this is a way to do it. And I think if we put it in their house, even if you only get 300 or 400 people and so on, that's more than we got now.
Yeah,
And we did have the discussion with Christina about how we actually don't know who signed up for that, do we?
No, I don't know who signed up for it or how much traffic we're getting on anything.
Yeah, and
Is that
that's a
for
question
EcoPixel?
for EcoPixel.
Yeah, when you meet with them, you're gonna wanna
Yeah,
ask them
and
that.
that, we're gonna have that discussion with them to see how we can better get a handle of what's going on out there. And unfortunately, that's just the way people do business today. I don't think it's the way it should be done. I'd rather talk to somebody face to face, but that's just not the way it is. Yeah, that's it. That's what you got.
okay, anything else?
Nope, that's it on that. You got anything else, Nicole? Okay.
We'll sign that letter and we'll keep that moving on. Now we will, entertain a motion to recess the select board and enter liquor control board.
I'll make a motion to recess the select board meeting and enter the liquor control board.
We have a second?
I'll second.
Motion been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye.
Alright.
Aye.
Opposed? We are now in the liquor control board. Or our control board.
Kathy said Stewart Shops needs to renew their liquor license. And tobacco, are they tobacco substitute?
Yeah.
But they have no violations or no issues.
No violations, and of course, they're the former Jolly.
Which stores?
Jollies.
Just one.
Yeah, that's
It's
all.
the only one they have.
It's the only one they got in Swanton, okay. Didn't know if there was another one around here.
Entertain a motion to approve.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Motion been made, second to approve Stewart Shops license renewals. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Entertain a motion to adjourn the liquor
Can
control
I
board.
just bring up one quick thing for discussion?
Yeah, yes.
I think that this may be a little surprise, but should we ever consider selling the library building to someone? Let them rent it to a
Well, wait,
library?
we're gonna get out of liquor control first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I thought we were out of it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn the liquor control board meeting and re-enter the select board meeting.
I'll second.
Motion been made second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
All right, I thought when you said
So
adjourn,
moved.
we were adjourning. Sorry.
Any other necessary business?
All right, I keep thinking of the money we're pouring into this building, all for good cause. But should we just keep in the back of our mind that someday we might like to sell that library building to a nonprofit investor or an investor? And then they take over the ownership, the maintenance, and then they turn around and lease it back to the library.
Which in turn would come back to the voters for funds to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd have to sell real estate, and it has to go to the voters, I believe, if we buy or sell real estate. But we keep getting more money, more money, and nothing convinces me we're at the end of it. Maybe we are for a while, but I think we should start giving that some thought. And that's just my idea. If you don't like it, that's fine.
I think we have been catching up to things that had been overlooked for many years. So I think with some of the work improvements that we've made to that building, we are in a better spot than we have been in a long time.
Yeah.
So I think would be my hopes that if we have a maintenance plan to move forward, that building will continue to remain an asset to the taxpayers instead of
A liability.
a liability, in my opinion.
And we don't need to even discuss it. That's just my thought. Well,
No, I think, just someone I add real quick, is I think we do something like we just done at the railroad depot, whether we get Laz or somebody else to give it a good go-through, cause now we know the heating's been done, we're gonna get this sprinklers done, it just got insulated. If the slate roof is good, then if it's, watertight, then we're not gonna have a lot of deterioration there, we got the basement flooding under control for the most part. So we get somebody to, go through and document what they think might be coming down the pipe, just to see, and that would help any of that
I mean, it's a
discussion.
beautiful old building. It's got a lot of character. It's a great place for the library to be. They do a tremendously good job at what they're doing, so, but there's a long-term liability to the taxpayer that we might just want to look at.
I don't really see it as a liability, even if somebody else buys it, and they lease it back to the library, any maintenance cost is gonna come back to the taxpayers,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't, if a private company buys it, they're not gonna make a profit off the library. It's just not gonna,
Of course, why wouldn't they? I mean, that's,
yeah, they're
that's
not,
what they'd wanna do, I mean.
It used to be okay.
a public library isn't gonna make that much money for people in the year 2025. It's basically a public service to the town.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
yep, correspondence,
Nothing.
public comment. Alright, upcoming events.
Tuesday, October 14th, 2025 will be a planning commission meeting here at the town offices at 5 p.m. Wednesday, October 15th, 2025, your 2025 real estate taxes are due, 5 p.m. Tuesday, October 21st, 2025 will be a select board meeting here at the town offices at 6 p.m. Thursday, October 23rd, 2025 will be a DRB meeting at the town offices at 6 p.m.
Thank you.
The meeting with the village trustees
This
is next Tuesday,
No,
This,
October 21st.
October 21st.
Our meeting.
Oh, they're coming to our meeting, okay, cause it just says the select board meeting, doesn't say
They're
it.
gonna come to our meeting,
Alright,
and that's to discuss, among other things now, local option.
yeah, yes.
One thing, September 30th was the end of a fiscal year, so first meeting in November, we should get highway general rec budget. So,
And have we given them, that's a good point, Joel, have we given them some parameters for what we expect them to maintain in their budgeting? In other words, 1%, 2% increase, salary increases, anything like that?
no, I'm not talking the input for 2026, I'm talking the end of the third quarter.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, okay, yeah.
But I just wanna get my heads up, it dragged, so we were like at least a couple months, and we should be able to, 30 days.
Yeah.
5 weeks,
Yeah.
whatever after, be able to get, so I'd like to give them a heads up that first meeting in November, cause then that's gonna be right around budget time anyway, but.
And I think we still should be thinking about the other
Yeah.
budget. We didn't get an update, I had asked to have the library budget redone, and I haven't seen anything yet.
What's that? That was at the last meeting.
That was at the last meeting, so I thought they were, getting a new program for their budgeting. So I'll call Abby.
Yeah, I could bring it up at the next trustees meeting too. Which I think is next Tuesday.
Okay, anything else? Motion to adjourn,
So moved.
Second.
motion made, second to adjourn, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved.